And we are officially live. So, hey, folks that are watching this as a recording, you might want to skip a few seconds in. We're just going to wait for folks to join us on this broadcast. And if for those who are watching it as a recording, if you have questions along the way, you can post them in the chat. We'll see them and respond to them later. But in the meantime, just hang out with us. We're going to just give it a minute or two to let people know that we're here live and give them a chance to join us. So stick with us. All right, so we'll get started. Hello, folks that are out there live watching us in real time. And hello to the folks again that were watching this recorded. Thanks for joining us, Tony. And I myself double audio. All right. So if you've never joined us before, this is Ivy Live. And we basically bring to you different tidbits of information, some of it programmatic, some of it related to resources and opportunities at the Ivy Tech Evansville campus. And this week is no different. We have a few guests here with us today, a familiar face or two. We're going to talk about supply chain management logistics. So not really a new field. It's quite old, I would say. Fair comment to make, but it's something that's more emergent now than I think it has been in the past. So we have some of our friends here. Again, my name is Joe Binkley. I'm the Director of Admissions here at the Ivy Tech Evansville campus. And we'll go around the horn. We'll start with Ann, Chase, and then Chris. Just introduce yourselves. Who are you? What information do you folks need to know about you? What's your title or role? Or I guess in Chase, in your case, where do you work?
My name is Ann Mills, and I am the program chair for the Supply Chain Management Logistics Program. And like Joe was mentioning, I think most of us have kind of been enlightened to the world a little bit with the whole COVID epidemic in terms of the supply chain and how that's been affected through this crisis. And I think that term now, supply chain, has become kind of the forefront in our minds, and we've been aware of it via media and other ways. So.
Okay, I'm Chris Kiefer. I'm the Dean of the Schools of Business, Information Technology, and Public Affairs and Social Services. And yes, I'll echo what Ann and Joe said, how critical supply chain and how it's become more of a part of our daily conversation now. You go to grocery stores and maybe there's shortages or fuel's going up. And a lot of this has to do with being able to get product from one place to another, which is supply chain. So anyway, appreciate you having us here, Joe.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Joe, this is Chase Coslet. I am a senior supply chain manager with Carhartt. We have our headquarters is based out of Detroit, Michigan, but we have a distribution center in Hanson, Kentucky. I have 15 years of supply chain experience, and then I've also been privileged to help teach some supply chain courses at Ivy Tech. So thank you for having me on here.
Absolutely. So for a lot of folks, again, we kind of talked a little bit about supply chain management, logistics. But we'll start with Ann. If you don't mind, give our viewers kind of a overview, big picture. What is supply chain? What is supply chain management, logistics, and how do I see that in my daily life? What is that?
Okay, and Chase, I'm gonna pass the baton to you on that one because I know you've got some experience behind that, and maybe if you want to share with us what you have in your PowerPoint at this time, that would be great.
Yes, I'd love to. Let's see here. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
I can.
Okay, great. So this is just a brief presentation I put together to chat with you all today, but we're talking supply chain management and logistics. So this is really an exciting place to be here lately. Obviously, everybody's heard of, a lot of the issues like Chris mentioned earlier, but again, this is just an exciting field, and it's really, there's a lot of opportunities in it right now. So and I love it. So I'm excited to share with you kind of a little more about what supply chain is and logistics. So just a brief recap, senior supply chain manager with Carhartt. My focus right now is on inventory control. But over the course of my career, 15 years of supply chain, I've been in logistics operations, distribution management, production planning, external manufacturing, inventory control, and continuous improvement. And those are really all different functions of supply chain. So a couple other things that are questions I thought maybe we can walk through today is, what is supply chain management? What exactly does that mean? Why is it so important? What type of places can I go work with supply chain management? What type of jobs can I have? And then the one big thing I definitely want to touch on is the CDL program that Ivy Tech offers, which is a great opportunity. And then also what the job demand looks like and also pay. So when you think about supply chain management, there's a lot of words that come to your mind. And they're different from everybody. But, customer, supply, management, distribution, demand, manufacturing, planning, information, transportation, products, strategy. And if you just really take a second and read, some of the words in this chart here, there is really, it encompasses everything. Supply chain is a very broad, vast field to be in. And these are just some of the key words that really come to mind when you think about supply chain management. And Joe, stop me at any time if we get some questions.
Absolutely. I'll keep an eye on it.
So what is supply chain management? So really, in the simplest terms, when you think about it, supply chain is just managing the flow of goods and services. When you think about flow, there's a lot of things that go into flow, but it's all the processes that come together that convert raw materials into a finished good product for a customer. Again, some high level examples of what supply chain processes are. So it starts with the planning. So to meet the customer demand, supply chain professionals have to plan ahead. So this is the production planning, the transportation planning, everything up front to make sure that we can meet demand for customers. So then after the planning, it is more of the sourcing. So plan, source, so selecting suppliers who can provide the goods, who is going to be able to transport or carry or deliver the materials, what sort of distribution partners can you have, who's going to help manufacture the goods. So then plan, source, make is the third step. So you've got your plan, you figured out how you're going to source your material. Now you're figuring out how you're going to make it. So the supply chain professionals also need to help coordinate all the steps in creating the product itself. And then finally, we get to delivering. So ensuring that all the products reach the customers through logistics. Again, that's the fundamental part of supply chain success. But then there's another piece to this, which is very important to remember, especially today during the boom of e-commerce, is the return. So the supply chain professionals also need to develop a network that supports the returning of products. So these are just kind of, again, the high level steps of what is involved within a supply chain process. So now you ask, why is it so important? Supply chain management, it's crucial for any organization because doing it well can really it save you money. There's several benefits, but number one, it lowers your cost when you're good at it. It can help increase your revenue and your asset utilization. And this is just a brief example from procurement, manufacturing, warehousing, and transportation, some of the benefits. So within procurement, you can avoid duplicate procedures in different departments. Within manufacturing, if you've got a good supply chain, you can improve quality and precision. Within your warehouse, you can keep inventory levels low. And then on the transportation side, you can consolidate multiple products into a single shipment. So most of these are focused on cost and reducing cost to the customer, but also on quality. Now on the flip side, poor supply chain management results in expensive delays. I know everybody waiting on, for Christmas is going to be waiting on presents, with the supply chain issues that we're seeing right now. So expensive delays, quality issues, that in turn leads to bad reputations, and then also potential legal issues. So it's important to really have a good supply chain. So this is an example that I pulled from our company, Carhartt. This is just I guess I'd call it a dashboard that we put together every quarter. And it's just focused on Carhartt supply chain. So I'm gonna walk through some of these key performance indexes and what we really measure ourselves against. Up in the top left-hand corner, internal manufacturing. So we produced over 750,000 units in basically in Q2. And then I'll move to the right. Supply chain total shipments. We had over 17 million total shipments or units shipped in Q2. Our outbound order accuracy was 99.57. That's again focused on the quality piece. Down below, supply chain production attainment, so 86% units shipped in full. We also opened our third distribution center in Q2 in Columbus, Ohio. Our company has been growing. When I first joined back in 2019, we had one distribution center. Now we have three, and that's in 2 short years. Our quality, 96.7. Defect-free garments, 17.8 million. So again, these are kind of those big measurables that we hold ourselves responsible for within our supply chain. Okay, let's talk about supply chain management, some employers. So there's a lot of big supply chain players here, even in Southern Indiana. There's transportation and shipping companies. We've got companies like Ryder, ABF, Holland. We've got distribution warehouses that are run by Averitt, Penske, Kenco. We've got great manufacturing companies, Carhartt, of course, Toyota, automotive suppliers. And really, this is a good spot to be in and be in supply chain. Because if you think about Evansville, again, we're 3 hours from St. Louis, 3 hours from Indianapolis, 2.5 hours from Nashville, 3 hours from Cincinnati. We're right in the middle of a lot of big cities, and this is a good spot to be. Within these companies, there's a lot of different types of supply chain management jobs. These are just a few examples: shipping and receiving clerk, production supervisor, inventory control coordinator, operations analyst, and again, the transportation CDL truck driver, which we're going to touch on next. And again, this is a great opportunity that Ivy Tech is offering that I would highly promote here. And Ann, I'm going to pass it to you.
Okay. So as Chase mentioned, there's a big demand for truck drivers in our area and across the country, essentially. But at Ivy Tech, we have instituted what they call a CDL Plus program. And it's an 18 credit hour certificate that promotes students and encourages students to complete that in 1 semester. It consists of 160 hours of training and preparation for the CDL license. And it's kind of outlined here below. You'll see 121 hours of actual operating observation, 30 hours behind the wheel. So you'll have actual driver training there, 8-week internship. And then you'll have a couple of classes, academic courses that review the logistics and transportation portion. And within those courses and also behind the wheel, the training portion too, we try to focus on professionalism and customer service ultimately. This certificate is fairly new, but it's in preparation for some federal requirements that are going to be put into play next February of 2022, where CDL drivers are going to be required to meet these minimum requirements. They have a combination of actual knowledge based classes as well as the driving behind the wheel. So we're trying to anticipate and prepare for that before that becomes law next year.
But real quick with that in mind, that is an interesting point. I don't know if you or Chris know why they want that implemented. Why is that change going into place?
I think this is going to be a federal mandate, but I think what they're wanting to do is have drivers that have more complete understanding of this whole process, as Chase had outlined. So it's not just getting an actual license and driving. And there's different types of CDL license. You got the A, which is the big rigs that you need to have. You got CDL B, which is you can drive buses, and everything has to do with a certain amount of weight on what you can drive. And then you have a CDL C category. But the bottom line is, I think they want the person to be a more well-rounded individual, understand the theory of why it may happen, understands transportation just in general, more than just what it takes to pass that particular exam. And so also, I think that answers that question somewhat, but I also think it's important that we have these individuals that come in, they get their CDL plus, maybe they're driving for a period of time, but maybe they want to do other things, as Chase outlined, that are available to them within supply chain management. So they get some experience doing that, but maybe they want to work in some of these other areas. And, at Ivy Tech, what we're going to do is you come in, maybe you get to CDL plus, but that then stacks in too. I mean, we've got CTs, we've got technical certificates in supply chain management. We have an AAS degree, which is an Associate of Applied Science degree in supply chain, and then a transfer degree in supply chain management. And I don't know if you want to talk about the particulars of those, but these are all just building blocks to, a potential field that has unlimited opportunity within this whole supply chain management world. I mean, you don't think about it, but Chase, he knows. I mean, I never thought about it. I always see the trucks going back and forth, but there's a huge supply chain management logistics thing going on rivers, right? Through the barge systems and through, every type of transportation. So a lot of opportunities out there for employment. And another, starting out as a truck driver in Indiana, you're going to make anywhere between $45,000 to $65,000. I think the average is about $53,000 a year. So that's nice, just starting out, being getting your CDL license, and probably being involved with one of the most crucial things in logistics, and that's getting a product from one location to the other. So anyway, a lot of opportunity.
And Chris, you make an excellent point there. And let me just back you up there. Based on the experience I've seen, I have come across numerous transportation managers leading huge companies that started as truck drivers.
Yep.
And I mean, it's just, there's no better way to start in supply chain than on the road. I mean, just to see it from inside out, you're in distribution centers, picking up product, you're picking up from suppliers. It's a great place to start, and you can really grow your career there.
And I noticed, Chase, when you had that collage of words, relationships was one of the words in there, and that you build these relationships with all these different individuals as you're driving a vehicle from one place to another. You're building these relationships up. So yes. I think that's another critical aspect of it.
Yeah, and as Kiefer was talking, folks out there, we normally pull up our program page. So supply chain management, if you're interested in kind of seeing and digging through some more of the information, ivtech.edu/supply-chain is the webpage for it. It's posted there in the chat if you want a quick link to it. And this has got some real basic information. Honestly, this Ivy Live is very bountiful with details and information. This offers some of the same, as well as a nice little video kind of rounding out some more information and a breakdown of the degrees. And that stackability is an incredibly crucial piece that was mentioned why Chris was talking. And the other thing you'll notice, and it's something that we talk about in a lot of our other Ivy Lives, is next level jobs. So that grant that covers tuition and fees, this area is the very high demand, well-paying job. So Indiana wants to support people getting into that field. So it is a next level jobs eligible program. So if you have questions about that, we can talk more about that. Post in the chat. You can let me know. But it does cover tuition and fees for Indiana residents who this is going to be their first degree. So huge opportunity. If finance and money was a major concern, let's talk. We can work with that. But I just want to make sure if folks are familiar with this page as well. Then the CDL, that component through our career coaching and employer connections office, they have their own webpage as well. And there's some information about getting connected to some of the staff in there. The video on that area and the CDL class interest inquiry form is available on there. So the long link is there. We'll post the short link, but ivtech.edu/trained and ready, all one word, is the easy link. So that's also out there and available for everyone who's interested. So we left off on the presentation on the CDL Plus page. What do you have next on there that we're going to cover?
Yeah, just a little bit more about job demand and compensation. Can you see this page, Joe?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Let me go back here.
There we go.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So just a little more about job demand and compensation. So again, supply chain is a very good field to be in, especially right now. Median salary for supply chain professionals is $86,000. Typical starting salary, like Chris said, very close, between $45,000, $65,000, and that could be as a truck driver. The COVID-19 impact. So nearly all supply chain professionals, based on a study I read, kept their job during the pandemic. Which is huge. A lot of people really struggled to keep employment during that time. But also, fast job placement. So the pandemic has significantly increased the demand for supply chain professionals right now. I can speak from experience that it's very tough to find good people, and we can't find enough of them. So again, fast job placement. And then also it's a career to love. So despite being a stressful last couple of years within supply chain professionals continue to report high job satisfaction. And I can just speak from experience. I love what I do. Every day is different. One day you might be firefighting and putting out, issues. The next day you might be doing some strategic long-term planning. Another day you might be working on a different project. So it's a very dynamic career to be in. And again, I can't speak highly enough of Ivy Tech's program, the CDL, and being in supply chain.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So what have we missed here? What can we add to this conversation? What do people need to know? Class style or format? Yeah.
Just a couple things. I mean, we teach it in a number of different modalities. Okay. But I think what's critical is that if somebody comes to Ivy Tech, again, I'm going to go back to relationships. They've got Chase teaching the class. They're building a great relationship with somebody that knows this business and knows a lot of people within the community that can reach out and say, hey, this is a good student. This would make a good employee. Okay. So that's the beauty of Ivy Tech and what we do. Yes, we're instructors, we're professors, we teach classes, but we also connect the student with the potential employment opportunity, and we train them up in the middle. And so I think that's what's critically important, is that we have faculty that are going to teach you classes that know what's going on, but also know the players and help that student build that relationship in the community. And I think that's critical on what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, Ann, do you want to talk a little bit about the class modalities, like how classes are offered? I know a lot of people are interested in that.
Yeah, and I want to kind of echo what Chris said too. We do have, professionals from the field coming in and teaching our classes. And with that, a lot of that valuable insight and knowledge that's being brought is most, I think, seen within the classroom in a traditional class. I think some of that gets missed when students take it online, but we do have a variety of modalities that students can take. And of course, the traditional classroom where we meet typically, night classes have kind of been where we've started, just because a lot of our students are working. And so we've put those in at night, but day classes have been offered as well. And we are also offering courses that are what we call Learn Anywhere. And so they meet at a certain time, but if you're not available to come to campus during that time, you can certainly tap into our class with an instructor virtually. So, and then obviously we have the online classes as well.
And then
Am I missing any modalities, Chris?
No, that's it.
Okay.
it probably goes without saying, but to get the CDL licensure, you got to do that in person.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can't.
thank you.
You can't learn to drive a truck on the computer. You know, so you're going to be again, and I think maybe Chris had mentioned this, like you have hours of drive time with an instructor. So you're in an actual, if you drive by our campus, you'll see the DriveCo vehicle in the back of the parking lot. You know, you're there in the vehicle, in the truck, practicing, learning, doing it. So you're prepared for the certification exam. So,
And they can go through that whole process, and Ann can speak to it more better than I, but it's a 4-week process. Okay, and what it does, it prepares them to sit for the actual CDL license that through the state of Indiana.
Yeah, and that I also like the 8-week internship that's associated with this too. After those 4 weeks, then we have companies that are waiting to hire people. So it's a great opportunity to earn that credit as you're in an internship, and probably will have a job offer after you get that license. I mean, there's such a demand for it right now.
so we're kind of rounding out our time here. Usually we like to end it with kind of the last word, so everyone kind of gets a chance to kind of go around the horn and what is the advice, the information, the last quote, tidbit that you want to share with people interested, considering this field, considering Ivy Tech, considering going to college at all. What are your thoughts? And we'll start with Chris.
You know, I just say pick up the phone, give us a call, stop in, let us give you a tour of the campus. Let's go outside and look at the trucks. I mean, again, I'm all about building relationships. So just pick up that phone, make the call, stop in, ask for Chris Kiefer or anybody here on this what are we on Facebook Live, and we're happy to help get you connected.
And I just want to echo that. I mean, I think we are more than willing to have a conversation with student and encourage that. We're enrolling for classes, for spring classes now. And so the sooner you can start that process, the better.
Yeah, and I guess, just from the experience standpoint, if you like variety, if you like being in a fast-paced environment, if you like, I generally enjoy getting up every day and going to work because I never know what I'm going to be doing. And supply chain that's what a supply chain is. It's a great place to be. It's growing. There's always going to be demand, and the future's bright. I guess that's what I would say.
All right. So again, if you're here watching and the recorded version of this, and you have some questions for folks here on the call, and you want to get some information, just message us on our Facebook page here. Message us in the chat here, and we'll get you that information. We'll get you connected to myself or one of these other fine folks on the call. I want to thank everyone again for out there watching, but also our guests and Chase and Chris. Especially Chase, you're taking your own extra time off of working with Carhartt and sharing your insights. So we can't do this without our partners in the community, our adjunct professors. They're the core of what we are and what we do, and we appreciate your time today. So Again, thank you everyone out there for watching, and we hope to see you here on campus soon. We'll be another Ivy Live session. We're going to kind of do a special one tomorrow with psychology at 1 o'clock. So it's a little bit out of the ordinary, but based on availability of some of our faculty, we'll be doing that then. And then in the future, we've got a couple others kind of in the works, talking about some of our career coaches. The CCEC, we talked about a few weeks ago. They're going to be here with us and learn more about what they do. And if there's anything else you want us to cover, any other programs or information you want us to cover, chat, message us, and we'll put it out there. So otherwise, we appreciate everyone for joining, and we'll see you later.